Hello everyone. So in this video we will discuss about the association rules. Association rules are a key concept in data mining and are used to find relationships or patterns in large data set, typically for market basket analysis. These rules help to identify how the occurrence of one item is associated with the occurrence of another. The goal is to extract useful patterns that can inform business decisions like which products are likely to be bought together. Now, what are the key components of the association rules? First is antecedent. Left hand side, the item or set of items that appear first in the rule. Second, consequent right hand side, the item or set of items that appear as a result of antecedent. This is the outcome. Now, third, support, the proportion of transactions in the data sets that include both the antecedent and consequent. It measures how frequently the item set appears in the database. Formula is support A then B, number of transactions containing A and B upon total number of transactions. Confidence, the probability that the consequent occurs given that the antecedent has occurred. It measures the reliability of the rule. Confidence A then B. Formula is number of transaction containing A and B upon number of transaction containing A. Now lift, the ratio of the observed support to the expected support. If the items were independent, a lift value greater than 1 indicates a positive relationship between the items. Lift A then B, support A then B upon support A into support B. Now what is an example of an association rule? So here is one example rule. If a customer buys a bread, they are likely to buy butter. So bread is an antecedent and butter is a consequent. In this case, support would tell us how often both bread and butter are bought together in the dataset. Confidence would show how likely it is that customer who buys bread also buys butter. Lift would indicate whether the combination of a bread and butter is more frequent than by chance. Practical application of association rule are market basket analysis. Retailers use association rules to find which products are often bought together. This helps in arranging products in stores, creating promotional offers, or recommending products in online shopping carts. Recommender system. For example, Amazon may recommend products based on what other customers bought together. So, two most important algorithm for the association rule are a priori algorithm, a widely used algorithm to find a frequent item sets in a large data sets. It works by identifying the most frequent item combination and then generating association rule from those combination. Second is eclect algorithm, another method for finding frequent item sets, often considered faster than a priori in certain context. Now moving on to the code that uses the association rules by Python. So first, we will import the transaction encoder. This class from the mlxtn.preprocessing module converts a list of transaction into one hot encoded format, that is binary matrix. A priori, this function from the mlxtn.frequentPatterns module implements the a priori algorithm which is used for mining frequent item sets. Association rule, this function is used to generate association rules from the frequent item sets obtained by a priori. Now we will import pandas as PD. This is used for data manipulation. Now here is the example data set that contains the item like milk, bread, eggs, bread, butter, milk, butter, bread, eggs, milk, tea and eggs, and tea and bread. Here we have defined a list of transaction. Each transaction is represented as a list of items purchased together. Now convert the dataset to one hot encoded format. Transaction encoder initializes a transaction encoder object which will convert the transaction into one hot encoded format. Then this line of code, this steps identifies all the unique items in the transaction and then dot transform dataset. This converts the datasets into the binary matrix where each row represents a transaction and each column represents an item. If an item is in the transaction, the corresponding cell will be true, otherwise false. Now create a data frame from the transformed data. D dot data frame converts the binary matrix into pandas data frame where the columns are named after the items in the transaction. Now we will print the one hot encoded data frame for debugging. Applying the a priori algorithm to find the frequent item sets with a minimum support of 0.2. So we will use this a priori function which contains df minimum support and use call names equal to true. Minimum support 0.2 means that the algorithm will only consider the item sets that appear in at least 20% of transaction support, and support is the frequency of the occurrence of an item set. This ensures that the item sets in the output are presented in terms of actual item names instead of their column indices. Now we will check if frequent items are found by printing a frequent items. Ensure a frequent item set is not empty. This checks if the frequent item set data frame is empty. If no frequent item sets found that meet the minimum support threshold, it prints a message. Now generate an association rule with a minimum confidence of 0.7. So association rule function contains the frequent item set, matrix equal to confidence, and minimum threshold 0.7. Matrix confidence, this specifies the rules will be evaluated based on confidence, which is a measure of how often the consequent of the rule is true when the antecedent is true. Minimum threshold 0.7, this means only the rules with at least 70% confidence will be considered. Confidence is calculated as the probability of the consequent given the antecedent. Now we will check if association rules were generated by if and else condition. So we will print if it is empty, no association rule generated with the given confidence threshold. Else we will print the generated association rule. Now error handling. We will handle the error for the association rule. If any error occurs while generating the association rule, for example, if there is an issue with the association rules function, it is caught by the try except block and the error message is printed. Now when we run this code by clicking on this button, we get the following output. And this output is showing the frequent item set shows the item combination that appear together in at least 20% of the transaction along with their support values, how often they occur. So this was all about the association rule